Yes, but first things first, Shafi, are you willing to lose a finger for love? And that's not...
For an iPhone 8,
no.
maybe.
Love of another human being, please. Ish. Lose a finger for love. Could you love somebody that
10
deeply?
fingers.
Yeah.
No, Z.
I was making.
Watch a guy.
Well, apparently there are people who are losing fingers to love. I'll tell you who in the next 3 minutes right here on Kiss FM. But seriously though, are you willing to lose a finger for love? Like seriously, that's not at your poetic line somewhere. No, it means that. Can I cut off your finger for love? Because let me take you to South Africa, okay? Yesterday we discovered that there's a tribe in South Africa, the Khoikhoi, where to show commitment to your spouse, you don't wear at your wedding band, or like when you propose, you don't come on one knee with like a ring.
Now we're talking.
Okay.
There's
There's no rings, nothing. This is a cheaper option, guys. A cheaper option. What you do though is that you cut off a finger, like one of your fingers, to show commitment.
Hold on.
So.
Okay, hold on.
So
everything was cool until the part of chopping my finger.
Yeah.
For commitment.
To show commitment, because the wedding band or whatever shows that, okay, this person is in a serious committed relationship. But for them, it's that you chop off one of your fingers.
Well, I have two things to say.
Yeah.
The fact that it's very affordable and very cheap, that's cool, because you know what? You can go buy a ruby, you can buy, a diamond ring.
Yeah.
And then the chick just doesn't care about it. She doesn't even understand what a ruby is. Mm-hmm. It's a mood ring.
Yeah.
That's just,
but
whatever.
Cheap is painful.
As long as I'm not spending money for love, I'm cool. But the chopping of my finger.
Now you have to chop your finger off.
That is where now it's very confusing. And this now brings us to the conversation we were having yesterday.
Yeah.
Where, when is it ready for you? When are people ready to settle down?
When you're ready to lose a finger.
Yeah, that is your answer right there. Because yesterday we were saying, 20 is the time. Is a time for options. Is a time to just test the waters, understand life, understand people before jumping into any relationship. And we concluded that if you're younger than 25, you cannot be able to commit.
Yeah.
So if all the 20-year-olds were taken to that country.
Yeah. To go and live with the Khoikhoi.
Let me tell you, no one's getting married.
Let me tell you, this is something that we should adopt in the 254, because first and foremost, there's so many Kenyan men who constantly take off their wedding rings when they go into clubs, nini. But now, if your fingers are being chopped off,
you had to go there.
You cannot lie. I'll just be like, please.
I'm
correct. However, 0711046100. Should we actually introduce this in Kenya? Like, just do away with rings?
I think we should introduce it. It should be in the constitution, because you know what? And this is the only way now. The marriage institution will be sacred.
Okay, so should we introduce this in the 254, guys? We do away with wedding bands, with rings, and we start cutting off fingers to show commitment to spouses. 0711046100. Call us up about something that we need to adopt in the 254. So let me introduce you to the Khoikhoi. They are a tribe in South Africa, and what they do to show commitment to your spouse is you don't wear a ring or change your relationship status on Facebook. Nah, you use knives and blood. You cut off your finger. Okay, so there's no party proposing with a ring, Z. It's a cheaper option, and also it's going to be easier for you to identify somebody who is in a committed relationship, because they'll have 9 fingers.
There's an old age question where some women say, you know what, I didn't know he was married.
Yes. No, because honestly, that's now something that happens.
See, I didn't know he was married. And then, no one can judge you, because maybe the nigga, every time they come to see you, they're hiding their ring.
Yeah.
And then, there are men out there who know how to play this. Mm-hmm. And they're married, but they can hide their family.
Yes.
But let me tell you, the one thing that you cannot hide is if you lack one finger. If you're fingerless, let me tell you, there's no you're hiding
unless
that.
You're pocketing the whole date. 0711046100. Should we introduce this into 254? I really think we should.
Morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Say mama baba.
Sasa, if they say that to show commitment we chop fingers, some of us watakaa bila fingers.
Can you commit to how many?
Because when we leave one woman, then we go to another. At the end of the day, we'll be left without fingers.
Yes, and you see, the moment now you are fingerless, that means no more woman for you.
No, now we move to toes.
Okay.
But this is a bad man, because I don't fingers.
This particular Khoikhoi people, they've resolved a wild problem.
I think this is something
because
we should adopt.
We people have been asking, Who is Mr. Right? Mr. Right is that guy who has all his fingers intact.
But yes, in Southern Africa, we have a tribe called the Khoikhoi who, to show commitment to their spouses, you cut off your finger. Okay?
You know, you've edited that story.
Okay.
Eternal commitment. Eternal.
Okay. In fact, bringing in the word eternal. So many people are asking what happens like if you divorce or if your spouse dies. So, if your spouse dies and you want to remarry, all right, what happens is you have to cut off another finger to let your dead spouse's spirit, transition to the next life. And then now, since you want to remarry, so you have this new person that you have to show commitment to. So you cut off another finger. So you've lost now 3 fingers in total.
So let me tell you, remarrying is a never ever.
It's a never ever.
Unless you as in, for what?
But you can say this is a cheaper option, so why not?
It's a cheaper option, and also it's like a legit option because there's no way a nigga is gonna chop off their finger and go cheat on you.
Serious.
Let me tell you, women, you need to advocate for this because you know what? When you're advocating for equality and women rights, you need to advocate for this because this will be the solution to Mpango Wakando. Because there's no way your spouse will cheat on you after they've lost their finger.
Yeah, and then even if you're dating someone who's married, I mean, if you guys are out, guys are just looking at you like you have 10 fingers. He has 9.
They know who to hit on. Yes. And also another thing, it reduces divorce cases. So lawyers will be jobless.
So 0711046100. Should we introduce this in the 254?
No, this is not funny, by the way.
It is. It's going to help us identify who's married and who's not.
Adele, we. Shafi. Na kwani wewe job yako itaenda wapi ya kukua the king and the chairman of Team Mafisi? Itaenda wapi?
No, itakuwa bado. But it does not affect, listen, it does not affect, Ufisi, because the thing is unless you are sure, there's no way you will lie to that chick. And that chick, unless she is sure, there's no way she's ready to be called Bibi Anani.
Because fingers muhimu.
Let me tell you.
Okay, alafu kama hiyo marriage haitawaka del.
So you have 10 fingers, you can have 10 wives.
Wait.
Hey, no, I refuse.
The person who sent you that sweet good morning text this morning, that bae of yours that you're sitting in traffic with right about now, do you love them enough to chop off your finger for them?
No, let's not just say finger. Are you willing to chop anything?
Hey.
Not money. No, money we chop every day.
But fingers, I'm not too sure. Can you think of the businesses that Kenyans would open around finger chopping if it was introduced here? But hey, should it be introduced? Call us up on 0711046100. In the meantime, and a big shout out to Meek Milk, who has just checked in from Embakasi, in time to tell us whether you would chop off your finger for love. In the next few minutes, I'm going to be telling you about what do love, being a man, and bullet ants have in common. But right about now, okay?
It's all about chopping fingers.
That's right. It's what the Khoikhoi do to show commitment to their spouse. Now, if you get married, both of you chop a finger off. If one of your spouses dies, then to release their spirit, you chop off another finger. If you want to remarry, then you have to now chop off another finger to show commitment to this second person.
That's after you have chopped off another finger to release the dead spouse.
Me can tell you I'm not releasing nothing.
You need to understand two things here. Yeah. I've heard of stories where, partners lie to each other that, the ring got lost.
Yeah.
And at that time they pawned it. Wameuza huko so that they can be able to take their other clan for vacay.
Yeah.
But you see, with this kind of devotion where you're chopping a finger for love, eternal commitment, let me tell you, we're going to be a better nation. Even global warming, Taisha.
By the way,
because everyone will be true.
I feel like I support this only if those who are already married don't have to go through it. So like now going forward, no more rings, we just cut fingers. Should this be brought into the 254? What do you think?
What if you're polygamous? How many fingers do you cut?
So you can only have 10 wives at any given time.
Listen, even in the Bible, wale walikuwa na mabibi wengi, walikuwa wanafikisha tu hapo 9. So it's okay. It's your fingers, your choice. If you can withstand chopping of your fingers,
of all 10,
you can have as many wives as you want.
what about Solomon? 1,000.
Okay, now
you.
What are your plans in life, Shirley?
Oh, you want to be like Solomon?
Sasa hiyo issue bwana, what if wakati mtu amedivorce na alikuwa ameoa akatwe hiyo finger? Alafu sasa wakati ameoa tena mara pili itabidi akatwe finger ingine.
Let me tell you, anytime you
and then another thing I support is hiyo I support your Adele is hiyo issue ya Timafisi. Hiyo itakuwa imeisha because wakati tuseme bibi wako Shafi sasa nimkatie nimuingize boss haizi akandanganya eti hajaolewa.
9 fingers
in the sky. Let me tell you.
But before we get there, it's all about what the Khoi Khoi in South Africa do. To show commitment to your spouse, you gotta cut off a finger. But they're not alone in this world. I feel like Kenya Maze, we just need to do away with these wedding bands and the rings that we have. Because over in the Amazon, there is a tribe there where you have to prove that you're man enough to get married. Okay, makes sense until then. So what happens is this. I want to introduce you to something called the bullet ant glove. Now, bullet ant is the insect with the most painful sting in the world. In fact, people who have been stung by these ants say that the pain is similar to that of a bullet hitting your skin. Sawa. Hence, they're called bullet ants. So to prove that you're man enough for marriage, what you do is you go and gather the ants, and then there's a medicine man in the Gweng, in the village, who drugs the ants with some herbs so they fall asleep. Now, while the ants are sleeping, they're woven into a mesh glove with the stingers on the inside. All right? And so you, who's trying to prove that you're man enough to get married because you've met this chick who you really love, you have to put your hands inside this glove. Now, when these ants wake up from their drugged states, they're very angry because now they're stuck in this whole glove situation. So they just start stinging. Now, you must put your hands in there for about 10 minutes to prove that you're man enough to get married. Okay? They said that the guys who have gone through this rite of passage to prove that they're man enough do a little dance to take their mind off the pain. I don't think that's the reason for the dance, but yeah, that's what they have to do for you as a man to prove that you're man enough for marriage.
If you're sitting in the corner and you're wondering, where did we go wrong with the marriage institution? Why is it not sacred anymore? Why don't people take their wives or their husbands seriously anymore?
Yeah.
It's because people don't do these things. We need to go back to the old days when everything was just serious.
Because you know what? This bullet ant glove thing, do you know how many times you have to do it for you to prove you're man enough for marriage?
Question.
20 times. 20 times before you get married. Will you act? So will you chop off your finger or go through the bullet ant glove test before you get married? Should we bring it to Kenya? You tell us.
One thing that Adele is not telling you. When guys just go through all those, things, so that they can be able to prove that, they're ready for marriage or get married.
Yeah.
There's one thing that they never used to do. Pay dowry. When we started kuhongana ndio tupate mabibi, that's when everything just went south. Imagine I've taken, anyway, conversation for nothing. Are you okay? Are you moving? Are you that guy who paid dowry and did not go through the bullet ants? You did not chop off a finger or two and you're still going strong?
Hey.
Are you moving on the roads of Nairobi or are you stuck?
Hearing about people cutting off fingers to show commitment.
Hey.
Makes it hard to listen to love songs, okay? However, that is Symphony playing right here on Kiss FM at 4 to 8 as you hang out with Adele Onyango and Shafi Weru. Good morning. If you're just fikaing, you're in time. There's awesome music on the way. Diamonds, Eneka is coming up in the next 5 minutes. But will you go the Khoi Khoi route and cut off your finger to prove that you are committed to your spouse? Or do you want to go the way of the Amazon where you have to put your hands into a glove full of bullet ants? They're stinging you have to do it 20 times just to prove that you're man enough to get married.
I've been looking at all these things in relation to, chopping off people's fingers, putting your finger into bullet ants, gloves. And then I've seen one here of curing impotence.
Okay.
In West Africa, if a man dies without bearing a child or bearing children, some tribe cut off one of his pinkies and shove it up his rectum. so that the spirit is supposedly so embarrassed by this whole idea of the pinky finger being in someone's diab.
Yeah.
And guess what? So when he's reincarnated, he becomes fertile, or she becomes fertile. And I'm thinking,
first and foremost, that's
why
just
are we shaming spirits?
That's unnecessary, to be quite frank.
And then another one. Apparently, still in West Africa, at the parents.
Yeah.
As in, if you have a daughter and a king dies.
Yeah.
When your daughter is still 5 years and younger, they chop off their fingers. So if like 5 kings die, by the time before you turn 7, you'll have lost like 5 fingers. That's why majority of Danas in that area code only have thumbs.
Okay. You know what? I can't handle, by the way. Let's just stay with dowry and our rings. Let's just say
I'm liking the one for eternal commitment, because you know what? That's what people need. Hii commitment ingine ya leo alafu kesho mumewachana. Always make.